Live, 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 live. I'm checking to see if we're live. Give me a few seconds. Checking to see if we're live. And boom, we are live. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. Happy Self Care Sunday. Y'all know your girl had to come through tonight to holla at y'all on this good self-care Sunday. I got some time. I want to holla at y'all tonight and make sure y'all have everything lined out for a new month, not just a new week, but a new month. You know your girl had to come through and make sure you guys have all of the necessary to keep you on track to this financial freedom. I'm your girl, Finance Muslima. I am your licensed life insurance agent in the states of Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Connecticut. I am your finance coach. I have been, I have 11 years in business. I have 18, 19, 20, 21, almost 4 years in finance. And guys, it has been an amazing journey. I am an author, I am a speaker, I am all things mindset and money. I've had a fabulous 4 years of ups and downs, good turns, bad turns, a lot of lessons, but most importantly, a lot of love. I'm very thankful for you guys. I appreciate y'all, my tribe, for being on this journey with me. Y'all know I had to come through and show y'all some love on this good Sunday. So y'all know I always talk about self-care Sundays and making time for yourself. So I always, and I want to shout out Charmaine because I met Charmaine through Renee, Big Socialite. Um, Referred me to Charmaine. Charmaine had Boss's brunch in Charlotte, and I had the amazing opportunity to be able to go there and speak to the ladies at the brunch about finances. And Charmaine is really dope. I love her. But I want to shout out Charmaine because she tagged me the other day and a quote and was like, as my sis say, find that space and block out the noise from life. Get away from those distractions, right? And this is the second time she tagged me on this. So I'm like, yo, this quote, that quote, or is not even really a quote because it's definitely something that I live by. Like I've lived by it for I'm gonna say probably since 2015 when I hit rock bottom in my personal life where I was broken mentally and physically. That's something that I done and it helped me out of those hard times. And it's just something that I've always like over the years, I just kept doing it, and now it's 2021, right? And I really learned to master it. And I always say it, find that space in your house, you know, and be able to, to get back to the pen and paper, always, get in a habit of writing in a journal every day, some type of journal. And I literally it literally changed my life because when you get into yourself, when you tap into yourself and you block out the noise from life, life is so busy. It's so much going on, right? When you block out the noise from life and you're able to avoid distractions, that's when you're able to really dig deep down and really figure out who you are and really know what you're doing, right? And in the midst of doing that, I was just dreaming, guys. I was just dreaming big, like what I want to do, And I was like, yo, like how, and you ask yourself, like, how can I really do these things that I'm writing? Like, yo, I would just dream so big and I would just visualize my life. I know that I wanted to live in a certain way. I know I wanted to have freedom. I know I wanted to have control of my time, control of my money. And finding that space, I always call it finding your blackout space. And I say blackout space because everybody needs to have a space where they can go to and just zone out and get in the practice of writing in a journal every day. And if you ask me the things that I was writing in my journal every day, even in 2015 when hitting rock bottom, right, broken mentally and physically, if you ask me the things that I was writing down when I was dreaming, I was saying, you know, I will have a successful business. I will get my credit score back to 680. You know what I mean? I will um I'm gonna master, the mental side of paying my car note on time, coming from Philly. I never experienced a finance car, paying a car note and all these things. Like life, it was just so much happening. So if you ask me what did I write in my journal every day before I got into finance in 2017, I would just say what I was writing in my journal was my life. I would sit and dream big. I was like, I don't want to die in a job. I'm not happy with just paying my bills and just having enough. How can I reach a no cap income? I was just dreaming big when I was writing. And that's how I learned to master it, right? Then 2017, when I got into finances, I got broken down, got really stripped of who I was. I had to and be realistic with myself in order for me to get the personal financial shift that I needed in my life. And then, secondly, take advantage of the opportunity to get educated. And then, thirdly, I was definitely like, yo, I need to teach my people in my community because I learned so much stuff that we wasn't talking about. So that's how I ended up here, right? But then 2017, when I started learning finances, so then when I would journal and when I would write and when I would do my black space right every week, um, I would just write down the fact that I was just like, I'm gonna go super hard and take this financial education to my community. And people were like, nobody's gonna listen to you, you're not an expert, all of these things. And I was like, you know what? That's what makes me want to do it even more because I love the process, right? It's really hard. It was hard getting into it because um, nobody comes into a black community that look like us and talk about finances. It's always our counterparts, right? It's white people. It's typically a white male, all of these kind of things, right? That sells us life insurance, right? Nobody knows about a financial culture, or nobody in the black community is sitting with a financial advisor. They're like, what? Oh, I don't need that. I'll just go to work and save my money. But we don't know that it's so much out there that we don't even know about. But when you're ignorant to certain conversations and you're not open to it just simply because you don't know, like, yo, we literally for decades as Black people been missing out on so much opportunity, leveraging credit, leveraging personal credit and business credit, and leveraging debt to create passive income. Like, yo, white people, they've been doing that for years, and we're really just getting in the game. And I feel like it's our time to. So when people, and it's hard being in the finance industry and talking to our people because I want to be honest with y'all. Our people is the ones that give me the hardest time. They're so skeptical. Like, what? What are you talking about? Oh, well, I got. My mom said this, and oh, I got to talk to my husband when I'm dealing with our counterparts. They be like, oh, well, gosh, I didn't know that. Well, put me down. How does that work? I got to be real with y'all. That's just how it is. Now, since more of us are having a conversation about credit and about personal finance, it's getting better. Our people don't give me such of a hard time. They still give me a hard time, but Good, bad, or indifferent. I love it. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to shy away from it because, hey. Oh, sis, I miss you. Listen, I gotta call you and text you, sis. I gotta hit you up. So listen, this is the thing. The reason, okay, so I'm gonna give you guys before I gotta get into this tonight, right? But the reason I gotta get into what I came here for, but I'll tell y'all the reason why I never stop trying with our people and with our black community with this financial conversation. I started in 2017, and I'm gonna tell y'all, year after year, I grow more passionate about it. And the reason that I'll never give up on our people is because every time I come across a potential client or somebody reach out to me and they need help, but they're skeptical, whatever the case may be. And I'm talking to them, having conversation, I'm trying to figure it out, what's going on. I'm making them feel more at ease. And I don't do nothing, but I'm always me. Like I'm just genuinely me. I'm not afraid to share my story. I'm very transparent, but at the same time, I'm gonna be very real with you, right? And don't reach out to me if you're not ready to take action because I'm going to force you. I'm going to be the accountability. And if you're not ready for that, then you're not ready for what I'm going to bring. So when I'm conversing with them and I feel the pain and I'm listening to what's going on, and y'all, the reason that I will never stop helping our people because every time when I'm faced with that, and it's mostly like probably every darn day to this point, right? I can feel that women I can feel the person through the other end of the phone through the airwaves. If I'm on a Zoom, I can look at them and I can look in the eyes and I can tell if it's a text message, a long text message where they're just like da da da. I can read it and I can feel the pain and I can feel the hurt behind it. And guess what it does? It does nothing but make me remember when I was on that side. I can, and I'll be like, gosh, like sis, like people will be like, dang, I feel you. I know how, like, I'll be like, sis, like, I feel you. I know how it is. And I literally went through those same things. Like, yo, my credit messed up. How did I get down to a 500? I've been working. I think I'm managing my money, but, it's just a lot going on. And I'm like, yo, sis, like, and if you know me, like, yes, I've really been through this. I'm not just telling you that to try to make you feel better, but yo, it makes me feel type of way because I really be understanding and not even understanding from a mental perspective, but it really touches me because I know where I was at that point in time in my personal life, and it really hurts to not be comfortable enough to talk to other people and explain to them and talk to them when you're going through financial depression because you're afraid to be judged and all of these things, right? So that's the reason that 90% of the time people don't share, what they're going through, especially that's why we don't talk about money in the black community because we're afraid of where we're at, where somebody else going to say they're at. We want to keep it look good on the outside, but we don't really want to face reality and hit the guts of it. And I know how it feels. So that's my take on why I'll never stop helping our community, no matter how much they put me through, and because you guys really put me through a lot, we really do. But at the end of the day, we need each other. Somebody help me, and I always have to do my due diligence and reach out in any way possible that I can, and all the education and knowledge that I have, and try to help somebody else because that's how it's supposed to go. If we don't help each other, then we're like, who do we help? Why do we consistently reach out and help them when we're supposed to be helping each other? Because they're always going to help them. They help each other with jobs, they get each other in the company, they do all of that. We don't do that for each other. And I'm not going to never stop doing what I'm supposed to do just because somebody else is not doing what they're not supposed to do. So my dad always say, don't do what they do, you do different. So as much headaches as sometimes my black community give me when it comes to this financial conversation, as much time as they put me through so much sometimes, And it's just lack of education, and it's just lack of not knowing. And we take a long time to make decisions a lot when it comes to these things because we just don't know and we wasn't taught. So I say the more I can do, hopefully we'll get better. I'm just one person, but the more people I can help, the more people that collaborate with me and help me help other people, then the more people will all help together because together we can do so much more. So that's my reason in saying while I'll never stop helping my black community, as stressful as it is, and you guys know I'm always going to give you the real. It's very stressful, but I'm never not going to stop. So I wanted to talk about the ups and downs, the pros and cons of having a financial conversation in the Black community. I wanted to talk about that. During the last 5 decades, Black communities has had limited access to building wealth for generations. During the last 5 decades, that's a long time, guys. I always teach the strategy of how to build wealth with generational wealth with life insurance. I when 2017 when I learned that, I thought it was just amazing. I thought it was the most amazing thing ever on the planet because I had never heard nobody talking about it. I just knew that life insurance was for if somebody in the family transition, okay, and then whoever's the beneficiary will collect the money or whoever that they leave it to, right? Always knew that part of life insurance, but I never knew the leverage that the power that life insurance had in being able to build generational wealth. When I learned that in 2017, I thought it was the most amazing thing ever. So us as a black community already, we have been held back in so many different areas. And we're new to the game in so much when it comes to talking about finances and building wealth, we have not even, back to our ancestors and back to our parents, grandparents, wherever some people, everybody come from different families. But I'm going to talk in general on a black community as a whole. A huge percentage of us has not been exposed to the conversation about money. And it has simply been because our parents wasn't, our parents' parents wasn't, our parents' wasn't, right? All they knew was to simply have a job. You go to work, you go to school, and you get a career going and you start a family and you start to build a debt. You buy a house and you go to work and you pay your mortgage, take care of your kids and pay your bills. That's what it was we was taught to do. So this wealth conversation wasn't really had in a huge percentage of the black community. We have so much opportunity and so much leverage. We have so much power at our hands right now with being able to leverage personal and business credit that it is just amazing. And I want to encourage you guys if you need, you got some fixing up or some things to do with your personal and business credit, I would highly, highly encourage you guys to get on the ball game of what it is you need to do and really get that credit thing rolling because I'm speaking it to you as I'm on the journey into doing some things myself. And I will tell you guys that this thing is a life changer. We think that working 2 and 3 jobs is the life changer. The life changer, the game changer is leveraging this personal and business credit. And is something that, like I said again, our counterparts have been doing for so many years. We're really just getting game to a lot of stuff. And it's our time, guys. We've been suffering and struggling and going through so much for so long. It's really our time. So I want you guys to understand how important and how powerful the tools and resources is that you have access to nowadays. Take advantage of it. Invest in yourself. Get the knowledge and education that you need to leverage credit in a way that's beneficial for you and your family. To build some passive income, to get some assets, and be able to leave some wealth behind. I'm going to talk about personal challenges. No, financial challenges. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to talk about some financial challenges. So, I'm going to talk about 6 things that we weren't too familiar with in the Black community, but we now have access to. And it's a huge line of leverage and opportunity for us. And we need to really dig into this right now and make it a gosh, what's that word I'm looking for? We need to make it a not immediate, but I forgot the word I'm looking for, but we need to make this thing crucial, like make it really important that you move your feet really, really fast right now and go and take action on these things. So the first thing would be, so I told you guys, I said that it's a lot of things in the Black community that we weren't educated about. We didn't have access to. We didn't know how to leverage, and all of these things been there. Our counterparts been doing these things, right? So now that we know different about these things, it's time for us to dig in and take what's ours, and start leaving wealth and legacy for our family as well. And the first one would be having access to home ownership, home ownership and leveraging it in a way to build wealth, whether it be home ownership or real estate. A lot of times us as black people, well, years ago, us as black people, we didn't have access to home ownership. It was a lot of racism and things going on when it came to that. We're able to own homes, we're able to build wealth right now. We need to take advantage of this. This is extremely important. And I see a lot of people, even the millennials, like they're really doing the damn thing by purchasing homes right now, or they have been for the last years, right? Home ownership is something that we should take advantage of that we didn't have access to doing years ago, or our ancestors did, and that wasn't something that we was able to do. So now we have access to home ownership, we have access to buying land, we have the ability to access the tools, the resources to get us a house built from the ground up, however you want to do it. We have the tools and the necessary to have to own a home, and that should be what the goal is. And I'm gonna say what I spoke about a little bit on last night, and in the process of purchasing a home and making these financial decisions, make sure you have a financial foundation first before you step out and do these things. Why? Because it just is important to be a homeowner. It's important to buy assets and be able to leave legacy for your children, for your family, right? Yeah, but if you don't have a foundation, if you don't have emergency fund, you don't have 3 to 6 months of income saved in the bank, right? You're not investing. You're not, you don't have that foundation, then you need to make sure you have that foundation so that when you go into home ownership or you finance a car you never financed before, don't and you won't be like me in 2015, right? Never finance a car and it's new to you, and then life start happening. So make sure you have your ducks in a row when it comes to that. And home ownership is a very huge decision. You want to make sure your finances and your mental and your habits is on point so that you won't lose your house through foreclosure, because that is a real thing. As fast as people is buying, people are losing as well because they're trying to keep up with a lifestyle that they can't afford. So, as important as home ownership is, make sure you got yourself together in real life, okay? And not just to be taking these pictures and flossing about what you're doing, but for real, you hurting, okay? Because the internet don't care. And secondly, securing higher income. So if you have a job, that's cool. But 85, 90% of the time right now, jobs aren't secure. So this next best thing would be to secure some type of higher income. You know, a lot of times people take this part too far and think that they have to jump out and learn a new skill, right? A lot of times you don't have to learn a new skill. It's just sitting down in that blackout space that I always talk about and just start dreaming again. Just start dreaming big. Start writing down your goals, right? You're going to come up with some stuff that you already know how to do. And it's already in you. And it don't take as much effort to get it done. And it's not a job. And you just do it and you just get it out to the world and you invest in it and you put money in it and you just keep your feet on the gas and run with that one thing that's already in your mind that you know what to do instead of trying to find a new skill. It's not really all the time about making it so hard. It be the basic things or the things we know already that be in front of us that can create us $1 million. And we think that we have to come up with all of this stuff. So securing a higher income is definitely essential. And why also too, because the cost of living of is increasing and always will increase. But as long as you stay at a job, if you have a secure job, that's fine. It'll help you live for right now. But eventually that money that you're getting paid is not going to help you longevity wise because it's not going to be enough. And sometimes for some people, it's not even enough right now, but it's not going to help you beat inflation per se because the cost of living is going to consistently go up. So it's okay to maintain a job and the money that they pay, but also you have to get another type of income. The third thing is learning how to make effective financial decisions. You cannot make an effective financial decision if you're not educated financially. So you cannot make an effective financial decision about your retirement if you're not educated in that area. Do you even have a retirement plan? Especially as business owners. Oh, wait. You cannot make an effective this financial decision on your credit if you don't know how to read a credit report. Credit is way deeper than just looking at your score, your FICO score. Do you know how to read a credit report? You cannot make an effective financial decision about your business if you don't know how to if you don't know how to create a business plan. Do you know how to create a business plan? So to be able to make effective financial decisions, you have to be educated about finances. If you have a business that you're running and you might say, oh, I have an accountant or oh, I have a financial person to help me. I'm not an accountant. I'm a financial coach, but I do have clients that own businesses. They may do hair, they may do nails, they may have online boutiques, and it's different services that they pay me for every month to do for them, right? But I'm not an accountant. So if you don't know certain areas, you need to be able to afford to invest in having a professional do it for you. And I tell our clients this as well. Y'all know I'm online teaching game every day. So you can imagine how much game and knowledge and education my one-on-ones get with me or my clients give me. Some of my clients just simply don't have time. Like some of my clients literally may do 5, 6 thousand in sales from an online boutique, right? Some of them just really don't have time to do the necessary. But this is what I tell them. I don't care how much money you make or what you're doing. There's nothing more important than to find out about your bag. Is nothing more important than to find out about your bag. I've been in business for 11 years and I learned that the hard way. I don't got time. I'm busy. Da da da. You busy doing what? Leveraging a lot of cash flow. Yeah, you up right now, but you're gonna be broke next week because you don't know how to make effective financial decisions because you're not educated on your money. You don't know what your profit is. You don't know what you need to flip back. You're not even making conscious decisions and have more access and leverage to better vendors so you can make more money on the back end. Like just small things like that make a huge difference. And I tell my clients that too. Like, I don't care if it's an hour, if it's 40 minutes. Listen, you need to sit with a person that you're paying your money to and learn, even if you just learn the basics. You know how many celebrities and millionaires out there is getting robbed all the time and they dealing with real cash? And I'm talking real money. Nobody's telling them like, oh, you need to sit down and prioritize. They don't care. Their accountants and their stylists, all of these people that's connected to them, they got free access to their cards and their money is spent. They're gonna burn them. They're gonna do what they want to do with the money. They don't care to say, oh, well, do you know this? So that's why I tell my clients too, make time to just know the basics of what you're paying people to do. Not just so it's cool, like, oh, I got somebody do my stuff for me and all that. Yeah, that's cool. It sounds cool. But do you really know what's going on with your money? I don't care if it's $50 or $100. I need to know what's going on with mine, let alone 10, 20, 30 bands. And then that brings me into the next one, the cost of hiring a financial coach. I always talk about this and I break down different scenarios with it. I give out a lot of free things. All of my services are not free. I give out really the basics of a lot of things for free to get into the what you personally need for your business or for your own situation. Yeah, you have to pay for that. So my financial I am a financial coach. All of my services is not free. I give out things that I want to give out for free. I teach strategies that we all should just know, and I feel like it's something that is certain things just don't desire a price tag, right? You have to be able to give game. So and this is the thing, it don't matter if it's 100,000 people online right now that I'm giving game to. It's always about playing the numbers game. How many people out of the 100,000 people that's online going to actually utilize it and take action? How many is just listening because they just want to support me? How many is listening because I may be attractive to them, or they may not be doing nothing right now at the moment? They're not busy right now, but they're not really going to take action. So it doesn't really matter. Everything is about playing a numbers game. So when it comes to hiring a financial coach for yourself, everybody fees and services is different. Some charge by the project you may need them to do. Some charge by, some of their services are individually broke up. Some of them may charge by the hour. What is their price per hour? I think the minimum price for a financial coach per hour, if they're on an hourly job, is probably $100. So the cost of hiring a coach, it depends on, I would say what would differentiate some from the most would be their level of education, because you might have a CPA who may have her master and bachelor's degree. She's going to charge more money than a financial coach who may not have the degrees, but she may have more years of experience on, than the CPA does. So it all depends. And I will say this, and I don't say it to downplay anybody's anything, but 11 years being in the game, I know that I want to share this with y'all because I like to always be real. Just because a person have degrees doesn't mean that they're very knowledgeable in their area. So I just want to let you guys know that if you're in business, if you know business, then that's something that you already know anyway. Because when you've been in business for so long, you meet and deal with so many people that just because a person say that they have a degree doesn't mean that they they're the go-to. Like, they're very book smart, they're very big book smart. They're very detail oriented, whatever the case may be. But that doesn't mean that that's the person to hire for you. So to each his own. Some people may want the person with the master's and bachelor's degree versus the person with 15, 20 years experience. So it just depends on what you want. And then another thing too, the lack of the financial conversation in the Black community is not building savings and emergency funds. That's something that the Black community, we have always just been like, do enough to get by, go to work and do enough to get paid. Just, oh, all right, well, I can pay the bills and the rent with that. I'll be cool. Everything else, I'll just make it work. Like, we have that mentality with a lot of things, and it's time to stop having that mentality. It's that thing where I always talk about unlearning. Like we've been taught, and I know personally again because that's how I was brought up too. Like we never had physically really sat and had conversations about money. It was like I knew what to do, what I saw my godmom doing, what I saw my mom doing, what I saw my dad doing, what I saw my grandma was doing. Like you knew, like you just growed up and start to do what you saw them do, like because you really knew how to do what to do to make shit happen. That's basically it. But you never really knew, um what that next level was like, or how can I create more for myself. That was never the thought, because you was always just like, this is what I got and I'm working with what I have, and not really being open to what's out there, or what more can I do. It was like, oh, as long as you got a job, you cool, girl, just pay your bills, you got a little car, oh, you doing good for yourself. How that's doing good? You doing what everybody else in the hood do. That's not doing good. So, to each his own. The importance of having a savings and emergency fund is, you have, so that when you hit rock bottom, you don't want to be like me. When I hit rock bottom, I didn't have that cushion. I didn't have well, I had savings at first, but living off business started to not profit. Then I started dipping into my savings more, and then life just got crazy, right? But when you don't have the emergency fund part, which is that cushion, when life starts to happen, a lot of people, the first thing that they have to do is play victim, and start talking about stuff that happened 10, 20 years ago, right? All this old stuff, right? And then they start expecting all of these other things from people, right? When we grown. So, we're not playing victim no more. We're not living talking about excuses or playing the blame game of what our parents didn't do, or, the mistakes we made in high school. Like, who cares? It's old, right? We need to focus on now. So you build an emergency fund. You know what your emergency fund is for your household. You build cushion. So, and especially when you up, because when you up, you like, oh yeah, I'm good. Da da da. We get real big headed. You don't want to save no money. You get caught up in the moment. Now we going into spring and summer. Everybody want to be moving around, getting dressed, going shopping. Keep your keep your mind on the target. That's what I will tell y'all. Because I just had to tell myself that yesterday. Like, yeah, this weather's getting nice, but sis, we got some grind to do this summer, right? Because we gold chasing. We're gonna have some fun, but we gold chasing. That's the focus. So when you get into those grooves of where you got money, everything is doing good, da, 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 you don't really tend to think about 2 months from now when hours get cut back at work, or 2 months from now the business don't do as good as it was during the prior 2 months, and you're like, damn, what up, da, da, da. Then you just like, our minds just know to go find another hustle, or do something else to make some money, right? Instead of keeping our feet on the gas with that one thing, and do right by the money, and you'll be fine. When you get a month or two that's not really booming, but it's steady, you'll be fine as long as you maintain the money, and learn how to multiply it while you making it with the money that you get. So you have to be very careful about that. And another thing about that's not being talked about in the Black communities, far as the finances, is having this money conversation with our children. That's always a big one. I'm talk about that a lot. That's always a big one, because a lot of parents ask me, a lot of my clients ask me, when should they have the money conversation with their children? And I feel like a lot of it is not being had because a lot of the parents or the adults aren't comfortable with their own personal financial situation. So, or they're not even educated enough financially in different areas for them to even start to have the financial conversation with their children. The conversation that I feel needs to be had more with our children in the Black community is teaching our children ownership, because we cannot and will not live forever. And that's just the bottom line. Whether you want to or you don't want to hear it or not, realistically, we cannot and will not live forever. The conversation we need to be having with our children, and what we need to be teaching our children and leading by example is teaching them ownership, teaching them about credit, teaching them about businesses, teaching them how to be their own boss, but leverage corporate if need be, but don't be a slave to corporate. Those are the conversations we need to have. Like it's so far past getting paid to do chores and saving, saving lunch money and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, that's cool. It's a thing, but it's deeper than that. Like it's time to go deeper with it than that. These kids are growing up fast and they need to know. Mine is 16 and I've been teaching him a lot of game. He's very, very educated in the finance area, business area, all around. And no, I don't feel like it's too much too soon. He's growing into a young man and he needs to know how to fend for himself and how to live because I only have one. And we need to raise our children to be able to live on their own. We need to raise our children. First, we got to man up ourselves and take responsibility, make time to get educated and start prioritizing and level our own life up in order for us to lead by example for our children. Personally, I know that's what I had to do. I taught and embedded so much in my son that he literally drives me every day. Like he always on it, on it, on it. Like when you got a kid that's on it, like you raise them in a certain way, he giving me push every day on my goals. Like that's how it's supposed to be. Like he keeping me on my toes and he's 16. But I embedded that in him. Dream big, go hard. Yeah, you 16, you go down. Yeah, babe, you can do that. You can, oh what? All right, well let's look into it. What we need to do. Our children do that when they always see us on something. They always see us trying to figure out a way or working on this or working on that, sitting in the office with us, or just being around different conversation and us really sitting down and teaching them stuff. Do you If any of you guys online right now, if you have children over the age of 10 years old, do you make them create goals? Do you talk to them about goals? If y'all say y'all want y'all kids to save money and all this kind of stuff, and y'all want to open them up big accounts and all that, that's fine. But where they getting the money from? Are y'all teaching them different ways to make money for themselves, or are you telling them to relax and just focus on school and they get their first job at the grocery store or McDonald's at 16 or 17? Like that's what we need to be asking ourselves. I get asked a lot. When is it time to have a final conversation with my kids? Like you guys gotta worry about and take a step back and say, gosh, well, what are we talking about right now? And well, what do I know about money? Do I even know enough about money? Am I managing my money right? Do I have my kids set up in a good situation where I can sit down and start? Yeah, it's that deep. So I think that you should start there. So tonight, I had a very nice conversation with you guys. I enjoyed it on talking about the ups and the downs of the financial conversation in the Black community. If it's something that you want me to speak on, leave a comment and let me know. I'll speak on it one day. I'll fit it in the itinerary or send me a DM and be like, hey, listen, da da da. If this is your first time coming through and you not came through any of my live training, then go to my website, www.faithfamilyfinance.co. Make sure you subscribe to the email list. I have a lot of different cities coming up through 2021. You can go to my page and check out my last post. Atlanta, Philly, um, New York, Texas. So go to my last post and check out the cities I'm hitting. I'll put if you have to stay connected via email to get access to the dates and locations. I appreciate you guys. All of you that purchase the Mindset and Money Game Planner. If you don't have a Mindset and Money Game Planner, yes, it is March tomorrow, but it's not too late to get your goals together, get your money together, get your bag together. 2021, you still got time. These planners, $24.99. Go to the website www.faithfamilyfinance.co. Thank you guys for all of the tags and the DMs and the awesome, awesome, amazing reviews on these planners. Y'all know I'm going to keep coming with some more good things to help y'all financial wise because I love to do so. So it's Sunday night. If you have it, don't forget to get your, this self care Sunday. Don't forget to get you 30 to 40 minutes. I don't care if it's 30 minutes at this point. It's getting late tonight. Make sure, guys, I'm very serious about this. Order you a planner. In a planner, we have a section where you write down and really prioritize, dream big. Write down your dreams, your personal development goals, your religious goals, your money goals, all of these things, right? Goals is much deeper than just money. So order you a financial planner. Get serious about dreaming the big again. If you don't have a financial planner, you don't want my mindset and money game planner, go out to Target, buy you a nice journal, get in a groove of writing a journal. You have to physically see your dreams and goals in order to manifest them and make them come to life. And I can tell you that because I personally been doing it for years and I still do it every day. So journals and whiteboards and write down your goals and dreams.